This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Amanda Dozier from Besser Museum. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
I know you're happy, perky, bright, and sparkly as you always are,
Yes.
but your seasonal light's coming up.
Well, and that's exactly why. We have a wonderful opportunity for the community this year. We have recently acquired a collection that has never before been seen in Alpena.
Oh, yay.
So this is going to be our debut, the Seasonal Light reception, and I'm breathtaking. I can't even explain. And I have to tell everybody, we have over 50 wildlife mounts from the Cranbrook Academy of Science from all over the world. We're talking zebras, lions, warthogs, things that this area hasn't seen before. This collection's never been on display. Plus, of course, our beautiful artists have all gotten together and really added that extra pow and pop to the museum. So we're very excited. We're also doing a really clever thing this year called Girls Gone Wild. It's going to be a fashion show on November 16th from 6:30 to 8:30 right at the college in the Grantham Theater.
Oh.
We're encouraging ladies to wear your animal print outfits that may be a little too wild for the office or just something an excuse to wear something fun. We're also encouraging you to pull your old minks and heirloom furs out of your closet and come and fashion them, model them for us. We will be doing, if you want to do that, we'll fill out a note card with all the information where the coat came from or the mink or whatever you have, and you'll get to model it right on our runway.
Yay.
And also a great presentation on the history of fashion, why it started, why furs remained popular, and so on and so forth. So
wonderful.
Great. $10 a ticket for that. You can get them right at the Besser Museum. It's going to be an awesome evening. Something just for the ladies while the boys are out playing in the woods with their furs.
Okay. So are there refreshments and things?
Oh yes, there'll be refreshments, desserts, that type of stuff.
Okay.
Little finger foods. It's going to be a great gathering, a great time, just a sort of, an excuse for the ladies to play while the boys are away type of thing. And it is a Friday evening, so it'll be, after work, it'll be nice not to interrupt the weekends that we know are also busy this time of year with all of the holiday prep. Museum looks fantastic. The gift store, the extended gift store, is open again. We've got great vendors in there again. Sam Muchellis has his pottery, amazing handmade all natural soaps. There's doilies and mittens and scarves and hats, and the list goes on and on and on for all the wonderful things.
And the prices are really affordable.
Oh, they are, and that's what I like about this a lot. This is a great way for the area vendors to come in and display their stuff for more than just one craft show. They don't have to man their booth. I get to do that for them, which is my pleasure, and I love to promote our local artists. So, yeah.
Now, do you have to pay an admission fee just to go into the store?
Not at all. The store is free. You just come right in and say, hey, I'm here to look at your gift store. We even have wish list things. If you come in there, I really like this for a gift, you can jot it down and give it to your husband or your significant other, your friends and family, so they can come and actually purchase the item for you. We did a lot with kids stuff this year, stocking stuffers, the old-fashioned toys, marionette puppets. It's pretty cool. I'm very excited. Great theme. So yeah, it's, of course, again, always very fun and festive.
Okay, wonderful. So what else is happening at the museum?
We do have our Seasonal Light, or our planetarium show, the Royal Star, which is a great planetarium presentation that we do this time of the year. We also have a great lecture series in December, which is all on our website. We have Delynn Medina. We call it a new twist on Christmas. She'll come in and do a presentation on affordable ways to kind of personalize your Christmas tree, your home. It's really cool. She had made a bunch of animal print ornaments and bows and stuff for our trees, which we're just looking going, you have to do this for the community as well. She's absolutely. Bob Skuse is going to come in and talk about wildlife safaris, mounts, all these great adventures he's been on. And we have also another gentleman who's going to come in and talk sort of along that same lines, but with a little bit of a different twist to that. Free Family Fun Day will be the third Saturday in December.
Okay.
Santa Claus will be there. So it'll
and
be
that was a
great.
big hit last year.
Yes. And it's always, we really love to do this. It's our gift to the community. As much as we can give back at this time of year, we really like to. And then that's where I like to stress with this collection is we have to let the community, I cannot wait to see those kids come in and their eyes as big as quarters as they're looking at an ostrich that stands 4 feet taller than they are.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And then you have other displays too?
We do have some, we have an artist from Alpena Community College, one of the ceramic students, has made giraffe heads as part of one of the displays. They're beautifully done, ceramic glaze, just awesome for that exhibit. We have, of course, our old Fremont Christmas Village is up. The Avenue of Shops has never looked better than it does this year. It is incredible. And then, of course, our world trees we have again, and you know, all that. So it's going to be great.
And what about Christmas parties this year?
Christmas, please call. We do have a different setup because of the one gallery being occupied with all of the wonderful wildlife mounts. We've got a little clever this year, so we've got some other really great places to put parties, and we already have a couple booked. So call as soon as you know, and we'll accommodate you.
You know what a wonderful place to have a Christmas party.
It is. The ambiance is great. It's already decorated for you, so it works out really well.
Do you have a lot of school groups coming in?
Oh yes, oh yes. December is almost booked already. We've gotten the letters out to the teachers, so if you're a teacher as well and you want to book the museum, please do. We've got a lot of great activities that go along with the wildlife theme, but still keeping it with the benchmarks, and it'll be great.
Okay. And a good time of year as the year is winding down for people to think about volunteering.
Yes, volunteer, please, please. We have a great program. I'm now kind of in charge of that program, so you call and talk to me.
Good.
And we can set you up on different projects. We have descriptions for each department, what you'd rather fit into. We'd like our volunteers to be able to come in and do something they want to do, not a paperwork project. You know, if you like data entry, great, I've got a lot for you. But if you want to do something more collections related or more facilities related, we have jobs for that as well. So it's really great how we're developing this program.
Okay, and all the December programs you said are on the website?
Yeah, they're all on our website. It is www.bessermuseum.org.
And 356-2202?
That's right.
Call and find out what's going on.
That's right, you talk to me.
And sign up to be a volunteer.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, Amanda, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations to everyone there for making the museum a wonderful place in our community to go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Christine Wedge from Alpena County Library. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Nancy.
Cooking with Eric is the top of our list.
That's right. On the 14th, Wednesday the 14th, he'll be back at the library, and he is going to talk about welcoming autumn foods. So just the kind of warm, stick-to-your-ribs foods that can get you through these days as the weather's changing to cold. What's exciting about Cooking with Eric is we have been working to get a camera aiming right at what he's doing, so that if you're not in the front couple rows where you have a really good view, we're trying to get it up on a big screen TV as well, or on a projector, so that you can see exactly what he's doing, exactly how he's blending the ingredients. He even, this last time in October, went out and got glass bowls so that you can really see what's going on, so that when you want to make this at home, you know exactly how. Of course, that program's really popular for us. I should mention that November 14th is Welcome Autumn, and just a sneak peek, in December we will do the Make Ahead Holiday Brunch again, which is a really popular program for us.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Then Christmas Crafts on December 1st.
That's a very popular program as well. All kinds of activities to sort of herald the season. It's targeted to kids sort of in preschool through about 5th grade.
Okay.
And we will have a special guest and some treats. You can guess who our special guest will be, but that's always exciting for the kids, and we'll have the tree decorated and a lot of fun activities.
Okay,
that's from 10 until noon. There's no registration. It's completely drop-in. You can it's open to the public. Stop by any time during that span, and we'll be glad to share some holiday cheer with you.
Okay, wonderful. And then a Kindle class.
You know, with Kindles are awfully popular. E-books in general are awfully popular. And with the holidays coming up, we think that there are people who are eager to either buy one, or they want to think about whether they want one, or maybe you're even just trying to download some library books right onto your Kindle. All of those things will be covered in these classes. The classes are free. They're 90 minutes, but you do need to register. We'll hold 2 of them before Christmas, one on November 26th at 2 o'clock and one on December 10th at 2 o'clock. And just give us a call, 356-6188, and we'll get you signed up.
Okay, sounds wonderful. 90 minutes, plan on 90 minutes for the class.
You know, you might find out everything that you need to know in the first hour, but if you have special questions, and we'll actually walk you right through it. Bring your Kindle if you have it. We will make sure that you can get stuff downloaded, that you're able to use your device. And so we block off 90 minutes for it. But if yours works perfectly the first time out, you might get done a little earlier.
Okay, great. Blizzard of Books.
The Friends of the Library are doing the Donna M. Garber Blizzard of Books again. And the goal of that program is to make sure that children in our community have a book to call their own. And last year we distributed 1,000 books via the Salvation Army. We partnered with them, and we do it as part of their Christmas basket distribution. So what we ask the community for is an unwrapped children's book, ages really 1 through 17, but I'll tell you that we have a special need for books that are suitable for challenged readers ages about 7 to 14. So something that will catch your attention and hold your attention, but not have a super challenging vocabulary, something that's easy to get into, easy to kind of get hooked on. That's our goal with every book we give to a kid. Okay. What we do is we take the books and wrap them just with a ribbon and a candy cane. So we don't wrap them in paper, which means that then when the parents come to the Salvation Army distribution, they can actually look right at the book and select the book that's right for their child. So Perfect. You're not taking home a wrapped up Sesame Street book for your junior high kid, and you're not taking home a more advanced book for a younger child. So you can select it very carefully. That program's really been a great success for us. And I should mention that if you're not sure what books would be suitable, or what, just buying one in the hustle of the season seems like a little too much, 2 options. One, you can certainly just drop off a donation, cash or check, to the library, to the Friends of the Library, and we'll make sure that it gets spent on books for that program. Or you could certainly stop in at Blue Phoenix, and Kim Kraniak could show you some books that she has that might be suitable.
And just drop them off anytime during library hours?
Anytime during library hours. We are trying to collect as many as we can before December 5th, because after that is when we're going to do the wrapping, and then we want to get them over to the Salvation Army so we can distribute them.
And I know that'll be another success, because it always is.
That's a great program. Really a nice, of course it's important to have hats and mittens, and of course it's really important to have food, but books are very sustaining as well.
Yes, they are. And you have 2 new collections.
We do, and I wanted to mention this especially because of the nearness of Veterans Day. The Special Collections area at the library has just received 2 collections, and it's really a neat place to work because there's always interesting things coming in. One of the collections was from Harbor House Publications. They have a magazine called the Seaway Review that focused a lot on Great Lakes shipping, shipping that affected Northeast Michigan, and also coastal and international shipping. And they have 6 huge boxes in our office just full of images of our area and images of boats on the lakes. Really, a man named Jacques Lestrang collected all these images and all this information because he was writing this magazine. And his daughter, Michelle Courtwright, decided that she'd like to have all that donated to the library. So there are 6 boxes that we're just going through, and I sit near the folks that are going through them, and I just hear them exclaiming all day long, "Oh, look at this, this is so cool." So lots of really neat images. And the other collection that we got that's really terrific is from a local family, the family of Eldon Heron. Eldon Heron served in the U.S. Army Infantry in World War II. So he went into the service as a young man, and his family saved every letter and every piece of instructions that he got from the service, every magazine or booklet telling what he was going to be doing or where he was going to be, how he was going to need to be prepared. Even friends of his sent letters back to the family, and they saved all those. And they passed down from Eldon to his son Nelson, and Nelson said, "I want these to go to the library when that's where I want them to be." But of course, one thing is the family thinks, "Wow, this is really such a neat history.
Yes.
We'd like to make sure that we can still have access to it." So they packaged up the whole collection and sent it to Myra Heron, who lives in Utah now, and she took every document and scanned it digitally, typed up every single letter so that, if the writing got blurred or was hard to read, she figured out exactly what it said, typed it all out, gave the family members copies, gave the library a CD with all of that data on it, Xeroxes of all the stuff that she scanned, and the originals.
Wow.
So it's just tremendous. And the things that are in there are just, he received the Purple Heart in the Battle of the Bulge. there is a letter from the Red Cross to his mother that says, "Dear Mrs. Heron, please find enclosed your son Eldon's Red Cross medal, or Purple Heart rather, your son Eldon's Purple Heart. He wants it to go to you for safekeeping." Wow. There's a letter, he was in 1944 shot in the throat. There's a Western Union telegram that says, "Sorry to inform you, your son gravely wounded in battle." Further information and then the address of the hospital. And letters from him, his experiences in basic training, his experiences when he was getting shipped overseas. A lot of letters that start out with things like, "I can't tell you where we're going. I'm not allowed to say very much." You know, I mean, it really gives you such a sense of what it was like.
Wow.
And what's great about it is, you know, when you think about genealogy and researching your family history or local history, sometimes it seems a little bit dry. There can, you know, I mean, there are census records, there are all kinds of, and the other thing is, it's a little overwhelming. I mean, you can think of a couple places to look, but if you don't find something in your first couple times out, it's discouraging. And I will say that our special collections librarians are really terrific at knowing a bunch of different places that they could look that might have something that relates to you in a way you might not even guess. And they can weave together a really neat portrait of what the past was like. So just two terrific additions to the collection. I hope people will come in and ask about them and maybe take a look at them.
Now, do you have to make an appointment with the librarians to come in, or?
You don't. Special Collections isn't always open the same hours as the library, so if you're coming from a distance, call ahead.
Okay.
If, though, you're in town and you think, you know what, I'd like to just buzz up there, it's on the second floor, come on up to the Michigan room and pop in and say, "This is what I'm interested in," and you know, the Special Collections librarians will help you figure out where you should start looking.
And you have so many wonderful items in the Special Collections that have been given to you over the years that are just phenomenal.
Really, if you need information, if you're interested in information that has to do with early Alpena or the families that really sort of started this town and got things going, or some of the quirky visitors and residents that have lived here over the years, it's a treasure trove. It's really, it's dazzling. There are items from Bob Haltiner's original collections, which were focused on the Native Americans who lived here at the very, you know, way back, and all kinds of information through the lumbering days and the paper making days and the cement days. I mean, really, just you can see how this town started and how different industries and different people who came here really shaped it. So it's a terrific resource.
Well, I'm really glad you have those two new things. Wonderful, wonderful for our community.
It really is.
Okay, and to all of you there, thank you so very much. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll look forward to talking to you in December and seeing what else is going on.
I'm sure we'll have more neat stuff. Thanks,
Thank
Nancy.
you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Jointon following these messages.
Good morning. I am Jay Walterwright, Director of Public Information and Marketing for Alpena Community College, and this is the ACC portion of Talk of the Town. With me this morning is Kate Brusky, ACC Volunteer Center Director.
Yes.
And we are here to talk about Christmas Wish.
Yes.
You know, it's hard to believe that it's that time of the year already, but it's here. Let's talk about it.
Sure. We actually started over a month ago.
Oh, my
goodness. We have to start so far in advance to get everything ready to ship out to the kids to get to them in time for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. For those who aren't familiar with Christmas Wish, why don't you give our viewers just a very brief overview of what the program is and what it does?
We're in our 35th year.
Wow.
And we serve needy children in our local community, so donors' funds that support this, that help fulfill requests for these kids, stay local. It's important for us to inform our donors of that their money stays home.
And the requests are Christmas gifts.
They're for Christmas gifts.
For
they
kids
sure
who may
are.
not get a gift.
Yes, the families that these kids are in a compromised situation somehow financially, or sometimes in many other ways too, maybe health issues as well as financial, all kinds of things. Some of them are homeless. And we have hundreds. We have about 400, just over 400 this year. Mm-hmm. And we work very closely with a variety of agencies in the area who are able to do all the investigative work for us. They dig and make sure that the families are in need. Mm-hmm. They establish their financial need. and they identify each of the siblings in the family so that we're not serving, 3 out of 4 children and the other one's not getting anything. We make sure that they're all on the list. And in some cases, even a parent will be on the list if it's a particularly tough situation. But mostly it's children. And the kids are allowed to state their requests, depending on the age. Some older children are talk and to the social worker or the school success professional or administrator or whomever submits this family to us, they will state their wishes to them. But in many cases with much younger children, the dialogue will be with the guardian, and they will suggest what this child needs or wants. And I really should say it's more about need than want. The things that are on our list are usually clothing items, lots of bedding items. There's nothing frivolous.
No ponies.
No, and we do have a limit of what we can take for a child's list.
Good.
But those names come to us, and the deadline for that submission is in October. We don't accept any private submissions. Unfortunately, we are not in a position with our staff, which is me and a wonderful part-time co-worker, Katie Evans. We don't have the time or we aren't going to investigate and research and document financial need and check for income tax records and things like that. So we really rely on those professionals to do that for us and to prioritize who is submitted to the list so we know that they need it.
Yeah, why don't you talk about those partners that work with us on Christmas Wish, because they're the ones who do the vetting of the...
Yes, it's primarily school success workers. We work with school success workers in all of the Alpena schools, and we also work with some of the schools outside Alpena County, Hillman specifically, and Posen. Those are the only ones. It's right here in River City and environs. They may not have school success workers. Hillman does, Posen does not. So we work with either teachers or the administrator or a counselor who knows the family's situation. And then those lists, those names and their requests are submitted to us. We build a big database, and we work with other local agencies who provide charitable Christmas programs. The Salvation Army, the Vietnam Vets Operation Holidays, of which the Toys for Kids is a part. Shelter Incorporated, a variety of churches do provide gifts to families. But we keep them all in the central database in a very, very exclusive and confidential way. This isn't for anybody else to look at. But we make sure that we don't serve the same families in more than one way. We're very, very careful of that and believe that that's good stewardship of our donors' funds. And the process now, we've got all that database built, we've got all these kids' requests, we've got them, everybody's vetted. Started this week, we do matching with generous donors all over the community who call in and say, I'd like to do a child's wishes, or I got together with my family and instead of giving gifts to one another this year, we'd like to provide them for a needy family. And co-workers, often larger employment aid organizations will pool together their resources and do a couple of families sometimes.
How do donors get involved? What are the different ways?
All they got to do is call us up and we'll talk you through it. You answer every question you possibly have and make sure that your match is as specialized for you as the gift is for that child. And what I mean by that is if you can afford to do a $10 gift, we'll do that. And if you can afford to take 2 families, we'll do that. It's absolutely up to the donor to state what their wishes are. And then after they fulfill these wishes that we've explained and described to them with great detail, sizes and colors and everything, they will bring those back to the college the first week of December, the week of December 3rd through Thursday the 6th. And from there, they go back to the families.
So a donor can give money?
They absolutely can give money. Lots of donors don't like to shop. We have lots of gentlemen who will prefer to give money.
That's why I ask.
They just get a panicked look on their face when we say, would you like to buy a little girl's dress? And well, no, they really don't want to do that. But they would love to give us some cash so that our volunteers or our staff can do that for them. We also provide a lot of grocery gift cards. And some gas gift cards. Will have lots of families, for instance, that are in crisis because there's an ill person and they need to go to Ann Arbor frequently or Saginaw for medical care. And what they really need is gas money to do it. So we do lots of those kinds of things with donated funds, and they are very important to us, yes.
Are you still taking donations?
Absolutely. We will take donations until December 7th, yes. And even after that, if someone wanted to donate, we just put it to next year. We always take donations.
Great. And what would somebody have to do if they wanted to be involved in the sorting process or any of the other stuff that's involved?
I have a wonderful volunteer. Kathy Spencer is our lead volunteer for the gift receiving week. And she schedules all the little elves, the volunteers who work that very, very intensive week. I mean, it is busy in there. It is Santa's workshop in every way. And she schedules all of them for me. But if anybody's interested in either being matched with a child or a family or donating funds or volunteering their time for wrapping or sorting, just call the center. It's 358-7271. We're happy to talk to you anytime.
And they should ask for you.
Yes, Kate Brusky.
Kate Brusky, Volunteer Center Director.
Yes.
Okay, well that's just about all our time, Kate.
Okay.
Thanks for all that information. It's such a wonderful program. It does such good things.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining me. Once again, I am Jay Walterwright, Director of Public Information and Marketing for Alpena Community College, and this is Talk of the Town.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production. This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. My first guest today is J.R. Rodriguez from Thunder Bay Theater. Hi, J.R.
Hi, Nancy. How you doing, darling?
I'm doing great, and we have a wonderful Christmas production coming up.
We do. It's so geared toward family. It's called Sanders Family Christmas. Wonderful little story, and it takes place in a church, so the audience actually becomes the congregation.
Ah.
So it's a lot of fun, and we have Greg Adamus and Linda Sunnison joining us for this show, and we're really excited about it. Greg's been with us quite a bit this year, and Linda, of course, did Funny Girl for us last year. They're both not only wonderfully talented, they're just wonderful people. And it should be a fun night.
And as we're taping this, you're just finishing up Rent.
Just finishing up Rent. Whew, man, a lot of work.
I bet. I bet.
But it was a good show.
Rave reviews.
Yeah. Everyone that saw it really, really liked it. You know, we wish we could have had more people, but, you know, we understand that. Fact of the matter is, we're very proud of what went on with Rent. We're very proud of what we've done this year. We've actually broken a lot of ground this year. We're very proud of that. You know, we've had an incredible year of theater. And, you know, it all started with Pat Jocks and David Usher back with the Sunshine Boys. And the course of the year has been incredibly successful financially, but artistically, you really couldn't ask for a better year.
Well, you've taken a lot of artistic license or a lot of chances with some of the productions that you've brought to the stage. It's amazing.
Certainly, in the course of a year, we've produced shows like Rent and Cats and Legally Blonde, which had never been done before.
I know.
We're also very proud that the first African American to ever be on stage at Thunder Bay Theater was this year with LaShawn Bell. Very proud of the chances we've taken. We got a lot of taste of, you know, where I come from in the South with Steel Magnolias and of course Driving Miss Daisy. So we've been very fortunate, and We just hope it keeps going. We hope we keep doing things that make the folks of Alpena proud to say, that's our theater. You know, that's our theater.
Well, I have a real quick story to tell you. I was at work one day and a girl came running. Does anyone know the number of Thunder Bay Theater? I said 354-2267. She said, oh my God, I went to Chicago and saw Rent and it's on here. I have to see it. I'm taking my daughters. So I gave her the number and she called and she took her daughters and she came and she said, you know, she said because of the atmosphere, the people, she liked Rent better on your stage than she did in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She just said it was wonderful. She said, I just have to tell you, because she said I didn't have to travel, and it was just so wonderful. I knew when I got out I could be home in 5 minutes. I have to tell you, it was spectacular, a wonderful event for myself and my two daughters.
You know, we've had a lot of our regular patrons, you know, that have seen shows throughout the years, and you know, the shows are repeated. And
Right.
Yeah, they're. I had Nancy Holderman come up to me after Cats this summer, and she's like, "Thank God you're doing this." You know, and she saw Rent the other night, and a lot of the older patrons that come to Thunder Bay Theater are saying that. You know, we're taking more chances. I fully appreciate what the history of musical theater is, and where, you know, particular shows fit in. But you can't grow unless you take chances.
Oh, yes.
And so with the board members like Paulette Brimmer and Barbara Bordelais, Gordon Snow, Peggy Tomaszewski, and all the wonderful board at Thunder Bay Theater to basically say, all right, let's start taking chances.
Yep.
Let's start doing it.
They hired you to do a job, and they trust you to do that job.
Right. Just hope I'm doing the right thing.
Well, your next two productions after Sanders Family Christmas, holy samoli, talk about taking chances.
Well, yeah, the first one that we have after Sanders is with, you know, we got Terry Carlson and Pat Jocks coming in to do Moon Over Buffalo, and it was written for Carol Burnett, and Terry's taking on the Carol Burnett role, and it's a lot of fun. You know, it takes place in a theater and whatever. Then we have our kids show, which is a wonderful show. It's called A Year with Frog and Toad, and that's being directed by the kids. I mean, it's a kids production. They're doing it all. I'm very proud of my students, and the acting class has grown and grown and grown. And then in March, we're taking a real big chance. But we are working with the Cancer Center. We're doing a show called WIT.
Yes.
Terry Carlson has never asked anything of Thunder Bay Theater. And Terry and I have become very, very close. And she knew that a board meeting was coming up, and we were deciding shows and what have you. She said, JR, you know, I wouldn't normally do this, but I really do love the show WIT. I'd like to do it once before, you know, they put dirt on my face. I went to the board, and I actually presented it that way. I said, you know, Terry's never asked us for a thing, and she really wants to do this show. What if we did it in association with the Cancer Center? And the board just jumped right on it. They were, you know, it's perfect. And what it is, it's about a woman going through treatment for ovarian cancer and writing a letter to her daughter. And it hits pretty hard on a lot of folks, especially a lot of folks that are associated with Thunder Bay Theater.
Yes.
We have the wonderful Carol Rundell coming in as an advisor, and Carol's also going to be the assistant director of the show. And of course, if you know that Carol works over the Cancer Center, it's a subject that means the world to her. So you have these two powerhouses in Terry Carlson and Carol Rundell working on this piece of theater, and I can only imagine what comes out of it. I think the response is going to be incredible, and that all goes back to the board.
Yes.
You know, taking a chance, and the board believing that we can do these things.
And then you're going to be doing Jesus Christ Superstar.
Jesus Christ Superstar. Yeah, we're going to base it on the concept when I originally played Judas 150 years ago. Okay. I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but
I know.
right. But we have a wonderful concept with Jesus Christ Superstar, and we have some twists and turns. The thing that I want people to know about Jesus Christ Superstar is there are folks out there that would say that it's sacrilegious. It's not actually sacrilegious. It's more or less, you know, me telling the story or Nikki telling the story. It's a bunch of actors that get together that want to tell about the last 7 days of Jesus Christ's life. You know, it's modern music, and it goes hand in hand with Rent. People don't want to hear the Brahms and the you know, that kind of music. They want to hear modern music.
Yes.
And I think what Andy Weber and Tim Rice did with the show, creating this thing, it's been such a wonderful piece of theater for so long, and we're very proud to bring it to Thunder Bay Theater.
Yay! I'm very proud and excited to be able to see it. Okay, now we need to go back to Sanders Family Christmas because
Yes.
we need to know when we can come to see it.
Well, we open actually the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So this is what you should do. You should go to the parade and then come over to Thunder Bay Theater.
Yes, perfect family event.
It's perfect for the family event. For all you 13-year-olds and under that didn't get to make Rent, which we said we didn't want you to come, it's open to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're 3 or 103. The show is fun, it's witty, it's funny, and plus the audience gets to sing with us. You know, it's just a time for us to spend time together right here at the holidays and enjoy each other.
And if you're going to, call and make reservations because it will fill up.
Oh, sure.
Especially at Christmas, especially a family musical. I know a lot of people are giving it as a gift to their family. So very important to remember, call 354-2267.
Correct. That
And
is
get it booked.
exactly right.
And then what about tryouts? Are any of these shows coming up? You're going to be doing tryouts for the community? Or?
We had auditions about a month ago, and we didn't get as many people as we'd like. So
Okay.
we may be auditioning on individual basis for individual shows, which
Okay.
we will certainly need for WIT
Okay.
and for Jesus Christ Superstar, and then of course our last show in the spring, which is the Great American Trailer Park Musical.
Oh, yay. That'll be fun. So you need singers.
Singers, yeah. Well, there's not really dance shows.
Okay.
But singers are needed. And then, of course, 1776, we need men.
Okay.
A lot of men.
Okay.
So,
Thank you so much, JR, and happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone there. And look forward to seeing you next month.
Nancy, I want to tell you, baby, this whole year has been very exciting for us, and you've been a major part of that.
Well,
and
thank you.
that means the world to me, and it means the world to Thunder Bay Theater. So thank you so much.
Well, that's WBKB TV's favorite thing to do is support their community.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Cindy Bauer from the American Red Cross following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last guest today is my friend Cindy Bauer from the American Red Cross. Hi, Cindy.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I know you got a lot to talk about, so let's get started.
I sure do. I first want to start out by J.R. Rodriguez and talking about WIT. I think that is so important for the community to have programs like WIT. It really just heightens our awareness of people that are battling cancer and some of the changes in their lives that they're going through, and maybe makes us a little bit more human and
Yes.
sympathetic to some of those changes. So I just applaud him and the board of directors and taking on such a challenging program.
And I hope people will go see WIT. Whether you are involved with cancer, whether you're not involved with cancer, just go see it and appreciate the theater that you have in your own backyard.
Absolutely, absolutely. I also want to make a shout out to our veterans. We had Veterans Day
Yes, we
last Sunday, and just so many great people in our community that have served our country so well, and I just want to thank them individually and collectively. So thanks, you guys. Really appreciate
Thanks for
it.
donating blood, too.
Yes, absolutely. And the Marine Corps, happy birthday to the Marine Corps. My
Yes.
husband is an inactive Marine. You never become an ex. And the American Red Cross and their services to the armed forces.
Yes.
We do a lot with the National Guard, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Army. So just thank you everyone who has served our nation in some
Yes.
form or fashion.
And Superstorm Sandy.
Well, yeah. Before we go to
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I want to talk about my our postcard program because it involves the veterans
Yes,
too.
it does.
We have a lot of men and women that are around the globe defending our freedoms in all sorts of theaters, and so the American Red Cross, because of who we are, because we are so intricately involved with our armed services, we have a program where we're sending out postcards to all of the blood drives across the nation, and then asking people when they're in the refreshment area to actually sign the card, either an individual message or just their name. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be gathering these up, and approximately December 12th, we're going to be shipping them off to all the theaters around the globe.
Oh, yay.
And so how wonderful that somebody that's from Alpena, that's serving our country, maybe gets a postcard from a blood drive in Alpena.
And I've had other groups on that do things, and they say when they get those letters from home, those cards from home, it just takes them away for a few moments, and they usually share them with everyone. Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
So it is an awesome thing to do. That's wonderful.
And you know, we want to reach out to as many
Yes.
of those men and women as we possibly can. So, you know, please, even if you're not able to donate blood, stop by a local blood drive. You can go to redcrossblood.org and find out where they are. Go to the refreshment table and say, I'd like to sign a postcard. And then that way we can just make sure that everybody in our community has an opportunity to touch a man or woman.
And just say thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, you know, we have a lot to be thankful
Yes,
for.
we do.
And, you know, just the people at Superstorm Sandy, they have really had just a severe struggle. But the American Red Cross, prior to it actually even hitting, we had 32 shelters that were set up, but they were more inland,
Okay.
out of the actual path of the storm, and we were encouraging all of those folks from New Jersey and New York to come to the various shelters in advance. Well, many people did, but there were an
goodness.
awful lot of people that didn't.
Well, whoever thought it was going to do what it did?
You know what, you just never understand the wrath of Mother
Yes,
Nature.
yes.
And so it's really important that we, as we even look at Michigan, think about preparedness. As we
Yes.
move into winter, think about making sure you've got an extra blanket in your car and a pillow and maybe even some candles. Make sure that you always fill up your gas tank so that if you get stranded on the side of the road, you can turn on your car for 10, 15 minutes, get it warm, turn it off. Don't keep it running the whole
Right.
time. But just really preparing for disaster, because disasters come in all shapes and sizes.
do.
Some of them are huge, like Superstorm Sandy. Some of them are smaller, like your car running off the road in a snowstorm. So we just need to make sure that we're thinking about those kinds of things. We want to talk about some of the things that the American Red Cross is doing to help the victims of Superstorm Sandy. We've distributed a ton of cleaning and hygiene supplies to many, many people. We've already distributed 5.1 million meals to the people that were affected. So there's really a lot of tough conditions out there. And this is actually the biggest storm that we've had in 5 years that the American Red Cross has supported. But over 300 American Red Cross feeding trucks are out there on the streets in the various communities and boroughs to be able to help out. We also went ahead and rented a lot of vehicles in order to be able to reach some of the outlying areas.
Good.
Because we just didn't have enough trucks to be able to reach them all. We have 5,700 American Red Cross volunteer workers, and 90% of those are volunteers. The other
Yes.
10% are salaried people. But, I mean, you think about that kind of an effort, and that's one of the reasons that 91 cents out of every dollar that comes to the American Red Cross can go out in humanitarian aid because of those volunteers. We have 3,200 people that have been directly impacted by the storm. And we have approximately 49,000 people that need health and services to be able to deal with some of the emotional challenges
Sure.
that they're going through. And, you know, there's a lot of things when you think about disaster, and a lot of us that lived through 9/11 probably can reflect each time that we see those raw pictures of what occurred, it just brings out emotion.
Yes.
And so one of the things that they suggest is if you're involved in any kind of trauma, that you try and limit the sights and sounds of that
Yes.
trauma
Yes.
and that disaster. Also try and focus on the positive. Not always an easy thing to do, but think about something good in your life and think about ways that you can actually use that in order to be able to move yourself forward, because sometimes we can get pretty depressed over those things. So just want to encourage anybody who maybe needs help because of Hurricane Sandy or has a loved one in the affected area and they're trying to reach out to them. 1-800-RED-CROSS
Okay.
is the phone number. If they'd like to schedule to make a blood donation, that would be 1-800-RED-CROSS also, or they can go online to redcrossblood.org. But we want to just thank everybody that supported the Red Cross in some form or fashion through this horrific disaster, and we want you to know that we will be there until the end.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Jointon following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joint, president of ACC. My guests this morning are student Katie Flemington and instructor Deb Hawtaw. Welcome to the show, ladies. Let's talk. It is going to be a trip to Costa Rica for ACC students led by you, Deb. But let's start with you, Katie. Why don't you tell us how you arrived at ACC and what your experience has been like?
How I arrived there, it's the community college, and it saves money to stay at in the community.
So you graduated from Alpena High School,
Yes.
was it 3 years ago?
2009.
Okay. And so you did you go immediately to ACC after
Yes.
graduating? Very good. What's your major?
Biology.
And
Pre-med focus.
What, pre-med, biology?
Yes.
And where do you hope to go after ACC?
Hopefully Duke to study abroad, but anywhere, any good medical college will do.
Well, Duke certainly is a good one. And tell me a little bit about their international studies program.
They have a lot of international studies through OTS, or the Organization for Tropical Studies, which is all of the areas we go to in Costa Rica are funded by OTS, so it ties into it nicely. And
That's great.
it does biology majors, medical students.
Well, you have a model at ACC, someplace so close can take you so far, and I bet it's going to be borne out in your experience in the years to come. Other than present company, do you have any favorite instructors at ACC you'd like to mention?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
She's my favorite.
Right. You're without equal then. And indeed, members of the audience should know you are among our most distinguished faculty in a very distinguished group. You've held the endowed teaching chair. You've been sponsor for many years of Science Olympiad.
Yep.
In the community affairs, you're known as a Girl Scout leader. And also last year, you received at Michigan State University the American Council of Education Michigan chapter for a woman leader in higher education. So it's really great. It's a privilege to work with you, and thank you so much for your contributions, especially in the field of science and assisting women, girls and women, to look at science favorably and to pursue the kind of career you've indicated, Katie. And another one of your activities has been to lead, I believe this will be for the third time, a group of ACC students to the nation of Costa Rica for a biology course. And Katie, you told me that you've been on this experience before and you want to try again. So Deb, how about the overview of what the course does in terms of academic benefit, but also experiential learning?
Yep. The course is field biology, which is basically nature studies, and we go out every day hiking in Costa Rica. We actually visit 4 different biomes in Costa Rica. We visit a dry tropical forest, which is Palo Verde. We visit a cloud forest, which is Monteverde and everybody's favorite. We visit a hot tropical forest, which is La Selva, and they don't like that one as much because it's really hot. And then we also visit a mid-range, which is Las Cruces, a really big botanical garden, very pretty area. But we go out hiking every day. We look at the wildlife that's there. The students do a virtual collection with the camera, since a lot of what we see is endangered. We don't want to disrupt it. We want to only observe it. And we see a lot in the 16 days that we're there. A lot of
so it's an opportunity
experiences.
to combine academic learning, college credit with some travel.
And it's a good cultural experience too. We visit sustainable, sorry. I talk with my hands a lot. We visit a sustainable farm where students get firsthand experience talking to some of the local farmers. They get a lot of interaction with the locals. We have guides that live there that take us around, and so it's a good cultural experience too.
That sounds great. We have 5 core learning competencies at ACC, and the last of which is learning how to interact with the world, and so this contributes in a very strong way to that part of our curriculum. Katie, what was your favorite part of the trip last time?
I don't even have a specific. Zip lining was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Zip lining, or just daily hikes. Or actually the first day when it rained.
So when you zip line, was that above the canopy and you could see the trees from a different perspective?
Yeah. We're in the canopy up at about 150 meters up in the trees, and then you zip from mountaintop to mountaintop, and the longest zip is a half a mile and about 300 meters up.
How cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, you will never want to zip anywhere else.
Now, one of the things we try to do in working with ACC students is to help them solve the financial equations for their education here in Alpena, but also I imagine there's a little bit more cost associated with this. So what kind of programs are being used, implemented to help students do the funding for this?
Well, for the tuition, the students would have, you know, the same as any other tuition aid with grants and Pell Grants and things like that. For the course itself, the room and board and the travel, we are fundraising. You know, we do try to write little mini grants and stuff, and like we've had a bake sale, we just had a chili cook-off, which you entered for us too. Thank you very much.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Made some really good chili.
Yeah, everybody seemed to really enjoy it. And we have other future fundraisers planned as well to kind of help offset the cost.
I heard something about chocolate coming up in the new year.
Yes, for February, to honor
Just in
Valentine's
time to break
Day.
your New Year's resolution.
Yes, if you like chocolate, we can satisfy your sweet tooth.
That's great.
So.
That's great. Is there a prerequisite for this course?
For field, well, I actually offer 2 courses at the same time. I offer field biology and I offer field botany for the more advanced biology student. Field botany strictly deals with plants, and then you do have to have had biology ahead of time. For example, Katie's had field biology plus she's had botany. And so she's taking it as a field botany this next time.
I see.
But for the other students, they do it as field biology, and there's no prerequisites at all for that portion of it because it is nature study, and I'll teach you everything you need to know for that. The tests and stuff are all open book, open notes, so it's a low pressure kind of class. And it's just a matter of doing the work. And I'm just not having luck with this.
Both of these courses 3 credit hours, or are they 4?
Yes,
Okay,
they're 3.
Very good. So an opportunity to, could anybody meet the prerequisites and take both at the same time, or it have to be one or the other?
That would be a lot of work.
Okay, but you're going to be teaching both at the same time.
I teach both, yeah, because basically they both involve nature studies and the hikes. The hikes are all the same.
Right.
And then I focus with the one group at a different time than the other group for the lecture portions.
Great.
So it works.
Great. What would somebody in the audience need to do who's interested in joining you and Katie for this trip to Costa Rica?
Well, they would want to contact me as soon as possible to get on the list, and one of the things I want is a $500 deposit towards the cost of the trip because that helps to pay for the airfare, and I want to get the airfare as soon as possible.
Good.
It's one of the things that tends to go up and increase the cost a lot.
So you can lock that in now.
Yes, and we want to get the airline ticket as soon as possible. The trip is in June, from June 13th to the 29th, I believe it is. And the final cost of what the room and board and stuff is going to be depends on what the airline ticket is going to cost us and how many students enroll.
How about giving your phone number as we wrap up?
My phone number is 358-7309.
Deb Hawtaw, name on the screen. Thank you, ladies, for being on the program and for advancing our international education in this way.
Thanks.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Owen Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.